Welcome everyone. Today we have a new build guide for the Pathfinder or the Flash build. Now looking behind me, we have a Pinnacle Boss skill, and I want to demonstrate to you guys the flexibility and also the amount of damage you can deal with this particular setup. Notice that before the boss cast, we're already behind the boss because we have so much movement speed, and within 2 seconds this boss is gone. And maybe less than 1 second. It's hard to tell because as the poison stacks, the boss disappears super fast. And that was one of the Pinnacle Boss. And yes, you guys might be wondering, how come this build is so powerful? And let me try to explain everything to you guys about this build. So here is a demonstration of a tier 18 map with level 82. And you can see everything is dying in one shot. And you know what is the biggest highlight is that we now have over 101% movement speed. You're literally dashing across the map super fast. You can blink around, you can one-shot anything on the map, and nothing really touches you. You're stacking over close to 4,000 energy shield with Green Fist. You have a lot of life, super mobility, and everything that comes in front of you dies in 1 second. The build is extremely mobile, has a lot of damage, great for mapping, great for bosses, and I do believe this is one of the strongest meta build for the Pathfinder, or maybe for a build in general. And I'm really grateful for Dramkast for sharing us with the latest update, because previously he was on 85 movement speed, now he is on 101% movement speed with an even better setup, more movement speed and also even more damage. You can see majority of the time the tier 18 monsters, everything, they don't do anything to you, and you have a massive cloud of radius of poison and everything dies in seconds. There you go, as you can see. And you can be traveling across the map, taking down tier 18 maps within 2 to 3 minutes. And this is if you clear the entire map. If you're fast forwarding for the map, you will be even faster. And of course, this is a tier 18 map with a map boss. So adjusting quickly right before the boss, you just need to do 1 gem adjustment, and let's have a look at a tier 18 boss. And that was 2 seconds. And this is before we get the 10 poison stacks, and the boss disappears super fast because of the build is so strong. Now, similar to all the guide videos, I'll share with you guys all the latest gears and also update of the jewels and also the skill links and everything that's related. We also go through the latest update of the skill gem links, the choices of the gears, and also any changes compared to the previous video. Now, one of the biggest feedback I had from the previous video is a concern about budgeting for this particular setup. So here I want to help you guys to budget the build, to look at what are the gears that's needed for the starting out build for this setup and how you can build forward. And yes, here's a screenshot of the movement speed. And I have written notes about the breakpoint you need to understand for this build, because you can get over 400% bonus effect from the quivers, and this allows you to get a lot more bonus skills to projectiles. So every 50% bonus to quivers will give you another +1 rank bonus to projectile skills because of the quiver, which scales massively for tons of damage, utility, better evasion, more movement speed for this particular build. And you need to understand this one as we go through this on the later parts. Now, because we did have a previous video which talked about this build in more details, I'll refer you guys back to this video should you want more detailed explanation. So briefly explaining the build, you are using 3 to 4 unique items. You do not need Ingenuity Bell, guys. This is not a necessity, this is just a premium upgrade. And the most expensive necessity piece of the build is going to be the Queen of the Forest, which allows you to scale bonus movement speed depending on evasion, and you are gaining so much evasion. So coming over to our friend Dramkast's character sheet, he actually reached level 95 after making this video. You can see that his experience was actually really close. So after making this video, he reached level 95 within a week, which is pretty amazing for a fast leveling, right? And he wasn't dying at all because of this build. It's super fast. One of the reasons he wasn't dying is look at his evasion, 93% to evade, which is amazingly powerful to not deal with most of the incoming physical damage. And this is actually one of the ways for the build to become super survivable, together with tons of energy shield and also resistance. Now, just to show you guys, yes, he did reach level 95 within a week, and you can see Dramkast's current stats. So what I want to show you guys is, notice that as he moves around, he will be getting stacks of Wind Dancer, and this is how he get over 100% movement speed. The highest he has gotten is 101%, but after some stat changes and also change of gears, he went back to 100%, which is still very fast. So yes, within a week, he got to level 95, and with over 100% movement speed, which is extremely powerful and also super mobility for this particular build. So yes, coming back to the key piece of the gears, this chest piece is the most expensive piece for the build. And if you do not have over 10 to 20 divine guys, I do not recommend starting this build. This is more of a second character that you have already saved up some currency than coming into this build. Other pieces can be obtained cheaper, so you can see the bow over here, the unique bow. The cheaper versions with less stats, like about 250%, is like 8 Exalt. But once you go higher, you can see that I'm searching for Exalt is 276% because people can valve this one to higher. You also want the one with the sockets, which is around 200 Exalt or even higher. And you can go over here, you can see the prices goes up even further when you're searching Divine, which will have the traded filters available for you guys to have a look. So a brief summary, the unique items for this build will cost close to about 10 Divine, especially those jewels, which can be more expensive the more premium you get. Now around 10% rolls, this start to become around 1 Divine for those jewels, which can be very expensive if you're not aware of this. But this really helps you to go through the breakpoint of the build. Now briefly going through the skill links for this build. We're running Decompose, and this is actually auto-casted coming from those unique boots. Decompose is combined with Magnify Effect, with Bursting Plague, with Momentum, and also Persistence. The main skill we have is going to be Poisonous Concoction, and this is a skill after you ascend your first time coming with the Pathfinder, you can get this skill for free. And one of the best part about getting this particular skill is that this skill automatically comes with higher links in the early games, but the downside is you get 6 links after level 90 for this skill. So you do not need to use a perfect jewelers. You get this skill for free over here, and this skill can be automatically leveled and also increase in socketing as you level your character, which, trust me, this build levels super fast. This is combined with Martial Tempo, Scatter Shot, Chaos Infusion, Deadly Poison, and also Chaos Mastery. Now this is the mapping setup. When you go fight the boss, you just have to switch for this particular gem with Combo ability, and this will allow you to deal even more poison stacks against the boss, and this will melt the boss in seconds. In terms of the Van Arrow, we have Strife Affection, we have Front of Mana, and also Front of Rage. This spear is a curse spell which increases damage on the enemies to lower the chaos resistance. Heightened Curse, Cursed, Focus Curse, Hex Bloom, and also Inspiration are the combo. Now, we only drop Dark Effigy before the boss because everything already dies super fast. Dark Effigy will also have increasing damage as we deal damage over time to the boss. So here we have Weathering Touch, we have Ancestral Urgency, and also Arcane Tempo. We're running Green Fist on the main setup because when enemies dies, you get tons of energy shield. And over here we do have a few major changes. So the first one I want to share with you guys is going to be Wind Dancer. So coming back to the replay of the Wind Dancer, you can see that my friend Dramkast did buy this gem for level 20 that is also +1 corrupted with 20 quality. One of the biggest ways he was going to get over 100% of the movement speed based on a lot of evasion is coming from this higher level gem, and this is one of the breakpoints you need to understand. Getting this gem to higher level with better quality will help you to get even high evasion, which can again make you even stronger in terms of movement speed and also dodging more attacks. Now the links for Wind Dancer also change a little bit with Expense, with Main, and here instead of Life Thief we have Energy Barrier, which allows us to recharge Energy Shield even quicker. We also have Gold Stance over here, which is combined with Fast Forward and also Clarity. Now for the secondary weapon set, we are having Blink together with Alchemist Bloom. Blink will have a lower cooldown, so you can blink around in the map when you need to swap into the secondary weapons. And in terms of the Alchemist Bloom, while swapping, you'll be getting additional flash charges, which is also great to have topped up flash charges before any of the fights. And those two are set for the secondary weapon swap, guys. So you're not running those two on the main weapons. Now in terms of the passes for the build, you can see that the first priority is definitely to come over here to unlock the main spell. If you wonder how to level a ranger to the ascension level, well, any of the ranger build will help you a lot. Rangers are super easy to level, and the moment you ascend, you can follow this build directly. One of the focus for the build is definitely those points, and here I want to take some time to talk about those points because this will affect your breakpoint to become even stronger. The Quiver effect over here you can gain 10, 10, 15, and also 30%. So coming over to our notes over here. So what we're looking for is, we're looking around 270% bonus coming from the unique build. So if we come over to our notes about the breakpoint, you can see that we can get around 80% just coming from the passive for bonus to Quivers. All the other stats can be acquired through weapons and also through juice. So let's talk about the weapon. The weapon itself, if we come over here, you can see the base roll of the weapon is 250%. What we're looking for is, we're looking for gears that has been corrupted with 2 sockets. You do not want 1 socket or no socket. You kind of want the gears with 2 sockets that is corrupted with over 250%. This is the biggest factor. And if you search for 250%, it can be very expensive, but if I lower the search bar to 3 divine, you can see there may be cheaper ones if you search it this way. Keep in mind, you want the right sockets. At the same time, guys, I'll have the filters ready for you guys to search for exalted orbs. Sometimes it's much cheaper to search for exalted orbs. You can see here we have a 269% with 150 exalted orbs. That is only 1.5 divine orbs. So this will help you to make the build cheaper to get better breakpoints. Similarly, if you're looking for the juice for the build, you try to aim for around 10% bonus for Quivers. And this might not seem to be that cheap. Even for 10%, you can see they're selling for around 1 divine. Sometimes if you're searching for exalt again, you can find cheaper ones. And those are some of the methods or tricks. You can see 70, 80 exalt, you can start to get the 10% ones. And if you get even better one with the poison magnitude, then you hit the jackpot. Those juice actually sells for 5 or 6 divines each. So altogether, if you combine this, our goal is to get to at least 400% bonus for Quivers, and each 50% will scale you with another +1 to all projectile skills coming from the Quiver over here. So if I come over to the Quiver over here, you can see the Quiver has to get +2 to skill projectiles. We'll talk about the gears very soon. So +2 to skill projectiles is essential with a lot of good stats, and this is amplified by 400 or 500%. And here the breakpoints are 400% in total, then 450, then 500% will be the premium super endgame setup. I do believe my friend Dramkast is around 450% with his gears. And this is the biggest scaling, because those projectile skills can also help you both survivability and also offensive damage. We're mentioning about the Wind Dancer, and this particular gem doesn't need to be 5 links. 4 links is enough with 3 sockets. And the key point is having 20% quality and also 20+1, which will give you even higher evasion and also movement speed. So coming back to the screenshots of the evasion, he's sitting at 101.4% evasion. And if we come over to the character sheet, you can see 93% evasion is amazingly survivable for the endgame. And he has stopped dying, and after making this video, he has reached level 95 already within a week of playing this character. Now briefly going through the skill passive trees, you can see the passive trees as it is on the builder's guide, and not expecting you guys to get all the points. If you're short on points over here, some of those points will help you to get better energy shield or better stats that you're lacking, but you don't have to go all the way. You can just reach over here to get the juice socket, which will help you a lot. The goal is to get at least 6 juice socket, and once you have obtained 6 juice socket, you can even get 7 juice socket. So notice this is 3 over here, and here this is 4, 5, 6, and also 7. You can get 7 juice sockets, but just in case you guys are a little short on level, this is calculated for 6 juice sockets. So you can find even more percentage to Quiver bonus because of this. And what I want to do is, if you do look at the end part of the video, Dramkast was very nice over here to take the time to show you each of the juice socket and also the juice he picked for this particular passive. Now do keep in mind, guys, likely in the early games those are like 50 to 100 exalt. Now this is around 1 to 2 divine and maybe 6 to 5 divines for a good roll. Some of the focus you want to have for the juice is over 10% gained to equip Quivers, and also the magnitude of poison you inflict will give you even higher damage. So coming back to our builder's guide, and you can also see the stats of the gears and also choices at the end of the video as well using the timestamp. The build will focus on stacking a lot of bonus to Quivers, and this unique weapon really helps us with this. And here we're stacking a lot of evasion. More evasion, you get more movement speed. So in combination, a lot of the gears here will provide us with evasion, maximum life, additional chaos damage is good because of damage over time, and also any bonus damage, bonus stats, bonus resistance, bonus evasion is also great. Now, as for the priority of the gears, I also share the previous clip of the video so you can hear and also see what are the priority stats for each of the gears. Again guys, it is not a necessity to have this build because it costs over 25 divine for a good roll. You can use a normal build with high HP, additional stats, and also additional resistance. This can also work. You can even get additional charm slots for those rare belts. So now coming over to the gears for this particular build, I think it's easier if we come over to my friend Dramkast's actual gears because you can see the corruption and also specific, specialty about those gears. So the bow, unique bow here, you might want to find a corruptor with 2 sockets, which also provide you with attack speed when you socket them, and you can get even higher bonus gain for Quivers. You can see that he's gaining a lot of stats coming from Quivers, which is crazily powerful, and this build means you need a really godly Quiver. In terms of the helmet, you want maximum energy shield, percentage energy shield, life, all stats, and also some resistance. You can see the socketing over here. He has socketed for additional energy shield and also evasion, together with generating life per second with the socket. I don't think he purposely had that, or probably had this in the past. So in terms of the amulet, you are looking for +3 to all projectile skills. Other than that, getting high energy shield, getting additional resistance, and also anointing the lasting trauma will be ideal for the amulet. Now this amulet is not cheap, probably 3 to 5 divines at least. Now over here I do want to mention Dramkast has recently got an upgrade with the Quiver. You can see the new Quiver has increased physical damage, increased damage with bow skills, increased projectile speed, increasing +2 all projectile skills, which is essential, increasing attack speed, and also 27 dexterity. The 27 dexterity over here with over 450% bonus will become over 120 additional dexterity. So do keep in mind guys, if you get a dexterity on the Quiver, this is also amazing, massive stat gain. Notice his stat is over 300 dexterity, which in return gave him more evasion and also better movement speed because of this. So it's essential guys, you get a good Quiver with some of those nice stats. So the build actually focuses on godly Quiver. Now in terms of the rings, because we're running Ingenuity build, we want the bridge ring for the highest stat. You're looking for evasion rate, you're looking for maximum life, you're looking for chaos damage, all resistance, any resistance will be great for those rings. And as for the chest piece, you're looking for something that provides you with the high stats while socketing for gem for even high armor, evasion, and also energy shield. You can even get a better chest if you corrupt this one or you find a corrupted one, but be careful of the risk. Now in terms of the secondary ring, you can see maximum life, dexterity stats, resistance, and also chaos damage, together with some bonus damage to attacks. You can have more evasion over here, and this will amplify your movement speed, but any attacks also is good. In terms of the class, we have evasion percentage, maximum life, resistance, and also literous physical damage as mana, together with even higher evasion and also energy shield. You can see that we are stacking both evasion and also energy shield, and all the stats from the rings are amplified by 150% because of this build, which is really powerful. Now finally, the unique boots allows you to automatically cast Decompose. This boost does not have the best stats, so you can try to buy those boots and also corrupt them for double socketing or corrupting them for some increased movement speed, which won't be the ideal one. So probably just corrupting them for double socketing is the best way to go, and this won't be very expensive if you're lucky. In terms of the potions, nothing too special over here. So what you can see is over here we have the increasing mana when on low mana and also increased charges. And similarly over here, increase amount recovered and also increasing charges. And finally, of course, for some rarity found, you can ground the frog with increased duration and also increased charges. Now for those of you that want to main and max with a second weapon swap, it is recommended to get a wand with increased chaos spells to level 5 and also getting additional cast speed. For the shield, you can go with additional life, additional evasion for more movement speed, and also any armor will help a little bit. Now in terms of the passives for the secondary weapon swap, you can see the curses are now updated with the choices of additional buff to the curses and also skill durations, while the red ones, the primary weapons, are here to get even higher evasion and also even higher damage. You can see that with a new change of the update, we also found one more juice socket to help you guys get even more percentage to Quiver effect using additional juice. Now, briefly going through the skill rotations of this new build setup. It is fast, it is the flash, it is super fast. Of course, guys, it is not Doctor Strange like some of the comments would say. It is not blinking everywhere with the Temporis, which costs 200 divine. The build one-shots pretty much everything in tier 18, and you can see the speed and also mobility of the build. Survivability, damage, mobility, everything that's built in one. Well, what more can we ask? Well, we need a cheaper budget for the build. I think that is the only drawback. You can see that the moment you throw the poison bombs onto enemies, they'll die. The only spell you're casting is just poison concoction. You can swap weapons to blink around, but most of the time, well, you're running so fast and dashing around, it is amazing to watch. Now, fast forwarding a little bit, you can see he's zooming across the map and everything's dying super fast. What I do want to do is, so before the boss, any of the bosses you want to do, you can set up the boss by casting your curses and also Dark Effigy. Notice that the Dark Effigy is cast in front of the boss together with the curse, and because you're so mobile, you can dodge a lot of boss's spells with over 100% movement speed. You can go behind the boss, go around the boss. Once you stack over 10 stack of poison, which will be maxed out, you can then take down the boss within seconds. This was like a 6 million HP boss that died within 1 second. And coming back to a tier 18 demonstration, you can see that the build, if you use blink correctly, you can blink across terrains to give yourself even better mobility, which is really good, right? So here I'll show you guys again. You can blink over the terrains and then run all the way. Notice that the corpses you run across will trigger decompose, which allows you to deal even higher poison damage as you run past them. Before the boss, you do the setup, the quick swap of the gems, and that's it. So before the boss, you do the gem swap setup, put down your Dark Effigy, put down your curses, and you can run around the boss the moment you cast the poison. You're moving so fast, the boss really can't do much to you, and you'll be doing a lot of damage, and while you can stay safe away from the boss. So what I do now is, I'll show you guys this entire run of a tier 18 run, which took our friend Dramkast around 3 minutes. You can see that he did not pass the biggest, he actually cleared the entire tier 18 map. So he didn't just try to rush for things. He cleared the entire map, he also backtracked a lot. And this just to show you how fast the build can be. Even if you want to clear everything, you can be doing this in 3 minutes for a tier 18 map, which is pretty juiced up. And this shows the mobility and also the damage survivability of the build. And should you guys have questions on anything about the build, come over to the final part. You get to see the latest update, everything is revealed, and this way you can follow everything related to the build. Now, before we finish, if you guys haven't subscribed, this is a really good time to do so because I'll be looking into the latest Path of Exile 2 news on different communities and also on our official forum, official webpage. I'll also be looking into the best build for each of the class as the meta develops with the Chinese and also the English community. So stay tuned for the latest update and also guides for Path of Exile 2. And of course, this is gonna be a big month for us. And I'll try to bring you guys all of the latest content and also guides for Path of Exile 2 to come.